She said take your time, it's the rush. I said baby I'm a dog, I'm a man, I'm a dog.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another one. Alright, so we are gonna get into it today. I'm just putting up an Amazon. I can go ahead and check in now. Yeah. But we gonna get into really like, is Amazon, is it worth doing in 2026? How I feel about it. Does it make sense compared to a lot of other gig jobs and stuff like that? So we gonna get into it. I'm about to park, grab my load, and then I will tap back in with y'all when I get my load. Alright, y'all, so the Amazon guys have blessed us. See that? 4 deliveries, 4 stops. Now you see, they kind of spaced out. Some in Humble, some in Spring. So it's probably gonna take us about an hour and a half, but hey, it's all good with me. And just so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm about to get these numbered up and yeah, about to hit the road. Alright, so this is the last stop. This is stop 4, 3. It's gotta be 2. Bam. Nice and quick. Alright, let's roll. Alright, y'all. So it looks like that was Humble. I thought that was Spring. But it looks like it's more Humble, which is even better because I'm gonna go straight down 1960, turn, drop them off, and then keep on going. So like 14 minutes to our first stop.
Navigation started.
Cool. And then these look like these two are expected before 7. So that's probably why they got me taking those just to make sure. And I'm just doing a 3-hour route too. So yeah, so this is a good example to start off with when we talking about, you know, is it worth it or not? Because this happens, you know, every now and then where you'll get a route like this. So, for instance, I had the same 3-hour route yesterday. I had like 20-some packages. I've had 3-hour routes where I've had like 37 packages, right? Take the whole 3 hours. Then you have sometimes stuff like this where it's only 4 stops, but they're a little spaced out, you know. But whether I get done by, let's see, it's 5:30, I'll probably be done by 7. You know, I'm still gonna get paid the entire amount. I think the biggest advantage to Amazon Flex is you know how much you're gonna get paid. And you make the choice. You choose that time frame from 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 3.5, 4 hour, 4.5. 4.5 is the longest shift. You know, shortest is an hour, right? On average that I've seen, and I've been doing the same day locations, which is same days is like it's all flex drivers. There's no regular drivers, right? On average, it's $20 an hour on average, right? Now there are some exceptions to where you don't. Maybe they got an influx of orders. Maybe you know, they having, no one's picking up that shift or whatever, and they really need someone, so they'll start increasing the rates. You'll get an alert, increased rates, right? The other night I was looking, they had increased the rates for a 3.5 hour slot, which normally pays about 70, anywhere from $72 on average, 75, 77 sometimes, $117, right? And then they had 3-hour slots going for like $90. You know, so they were paying like $30 an hour, you know, but that's because they really needed, you know, I guess nobody was picking them up or whatever the case. So there are some times where you can really get, you know, but on average, it's going to be about $20 an hour, you know. But, like I said, you know, okay, I'm going to go do this for 3 hours. I'm guaranteed $60. And it's usually a little bit over. It'll be like 61, 62, you know. But you're guaranteed that whether you take that whole 3 hours or not. You know, like this one's probably not gonna take me the whole 3 hours. There's been plenty of times where just a regular route with about 30 stops, it still don't take the whole 3 hours. I may finish in 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on how close they are, you know, if I don't run into any weird apartments. So yes, I definitely think it's worth it. Like you can really run it up. Like my first week doing it, I made like over $400, you know? Yeah, I think I did like 6 days or something like that. And I was just, you know, picking the highest paid thing. I wasn't really looking at like the hours and stuff. I was looking at the dollar amount. Oh, $80. Oh, $75. Oh, $88. You know what I'm saying? I was just clicking the highest amount or whatever. Now I'm a little bit more strategic, like just because I don't want to wear myself out. So most time doing a week, I'll just do a 3-hour route. Cause you don't really get into the 40 stops, you know. Most of the time on average is around the low 30s, in the 20s. And that's cool. I really aim to be done before 9 o'clock, you know. So I'm always doing a week, I'm gonna do a 5:15 to 8:15, 5:30 to 8:30. The latest I do during the week is 5:45 to 8:45. Now on the weekend, I don't care. I'll do it for, you know, 3.5, 4 hour route. Most time I'm gonna do it in the morning to get it out the way, so I still have rest of the day to do whatever I want to do. But that's the thing, you know what you're gonna make. You can plan it out. You know, you can plan out days ahead. Like I already had. By yesterday, I had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday scheduled. They're starting to open up Thursday. In fact, let me look and see if they got Thursday. Look at my office real quick. And I plan them whether I'm going to do them or not, just in case. Because, yeah, you know, stuff may change. So I may not, maybe I'm not going to do it. Because I try to actually take Wednesdays off. Like, here goes Thursday. So I just scheduled a 5:15 to 8:15 for Thursday. So this is my strategy. I work from home on Thursdays. So if they got a 5 to 8 or a 5:15 to 8:15, that's what I'm doing. Because I'm already at home. I ain't got to worry about, oh, if I got something to do at the office. When I have to go into the office, which I go into the office Monday through Wednesday, I'll do 5:30 to 8:30 or 5:45 to 8:45. That gives me time to get home, get changed, whatever. Because before I was changing in the back of the truck, you know. But if I can leave work by like 4 o'clock, then I'm not really, you know, rushing or whatever. But that's for me. You know, your situations, you know, definitely probably gonna be different. And it's flexible, man. Like you can cancel up to 45 minutes before. So even if you, let's say it start raining or something, and you like, man, I don't really want to deal with this rain, you know, cancel it. Versus like, you know, DoorDash, yeah, if it start raining, you can stop, but you may be like with any other. I've done DoorDash, I've done Walmart, the Spark, I've done who else? Uber Eats. I've done Favorite, which I think is only in Texas. I've done in Lyft. So out of all those, the most consistent has been this. I've been doing this since February. In fact, I'm gonna show y'all my grill wise And if y'all don't know, most people probably do know, GridWise has been around for a couple years now. You can link that to your gig apps, and it'll keep track of your mileage, keep track of your earnings and stuff like that for tax purposes. So, I think on my grid, in fact, I got 4 minutes. Let me pull up my GridWise real quick. Earnings. And this is not including, I think, this may be including everything. So in February, so this is what I started doing this in February. Let me see it. Can y'all see that? Hopefully y'all can see that. So far this year, I made almost $4,000. In February, 1955, March, 1486, and so far in April, 508. Right? And then I've only done a few days in April. So, and we not even halfway through April when I'm recording this. Today is the 13th. Right? So you tell me if you could use an extra, you know what I'm saying, couple of $1,000s a month, you know? And that's just me doing it. Like that first month you see I ran up almost $2,000, but that was me really like, I was just like going the first couple of weeks. But then once I kind of got like, you know, the groove up and everything like that, then, you know, I dropped down to 1,400 or whatever. And then, so it'd probably be like, you know, I may keep it around that or whatever. But my thing is, you see the earning potential. And that's what I noticed about it right away, the earning potential of it. That's why I feel like it's worth it. I knew how much I was getting paid every day. I can plan out my week and be like, hey, I want to do 300 this week. I want to do 350 this week. Yeah, I want to do 500 this week. You know, whatever, however you want to do it. I've done 2 routes in the same day on the weekend. I've done a morning route and came back and did an afternoon route. You know, there's stuff you can do. Like, there's different ways to run it up. And
turn right to enter a private.
You can't go in now.
Turn left.
Let me try to figure out how to get in these apartments. Oh, there you go, right there. And I'm gonna hit y'all back.
100 feet.
But I think just with the earning potential, the consistency, knowing what you're gonna do, being able to, you know, really plan it out and map it out, not hoping, oh, I hope I get some, you know, some good Ubers today. Oh, I hope these people tip and all this stuff like that. You know, all that's taken out. You know, you can log into this app and you can be like, what do you need to make and make it? You feel me? So I think that's the biggest takeaway from this. So yes, I think it's worth it. If you haven't done it, go ahead, you know, and log on. Yes, every city, every geographical location is going to be different, right? But for most people, definitely major cities and most, you know, semi-major cities, you should be good. It really should be good. You think about if you got, especially
Turn right onto Fox Forest Trail.
you got about 500,000 people in your city. That's a lot of people, you know, potentially ordering stuff from Amazon every day. You got 1 million people in your city. You know, that's a lot of, you got to think about the surrounding areas of wherever you are. You know, because a lot of my deliveries aren't technically Houston addresses. They're the surrounding areas of Houston as well. So wherever you stay at, same thing applies. So when you add those people in, that's another, you know. So to me, it's there. You know, and I see all kind of people doing it. I've seen older people, younger people, single people, people, you clearly they're a couple. They together getting it. I see people that, man, look like they really need it, and I see people you be like, damn, they doing this? You know what I'm saying? And you look at and I done seen people pull up in BMW SUVs, Lexus SUVs, you know, nice vehicles. They hop out looking, you know, nice athleisure wear, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But they getting it too. So don't be worried about what nobody think. Don't be, you know what I'm saying, on nobody. Who care about what somebody look, thinking or whatever? You get that bag. That's how I feel about it. I don't care. Like, I had a part-time job at Dollar Tree before, right? And I was making more than everybody in that joint, right? Manager included, we probably was making around the same. Store manager, not the assistant. I know I was making more than the assistant manager. Right? But it was right across the street from my house. My girls had just came back to stay with us. You know, I needed the extra change come in handy, right? And I didn't care what nobody thought. Like, I had someone from high school come in there. Was it 207? There was dude Chris from high school. He came in there getting some stuff. He was about to get married, and he was getting like basically like catering stuff, right? And you know, I just helped him, whatever. Said what's up. He talking about his wife, blah 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 blah. But I didn't explain like, oh, you know, I'm just here. You know, I do have a whatever. I didn't give a fuck what that nigga thought I had going on. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to get to that point where you don't care about what nobody think or, you know, what you got going on. You do what you need to do and what's best for your situation. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. Let me drop off this package real quick. I encourage anyone that's willing to, you know, and it's not really like crucial work. You're dropping off packages. You really don't have to deal with nobody. Most time I interact with people is if they already outside when I'm dropping a package off. That's about it. Otherwise, I'm not even calling people real. I think I've talked to maybe 1 or 2 people on the phone. Like, hey, can you open the gate? Or something like that. That's about it. But, oh, and that wasn't even on my phone. That was like at their apartment or at the, you know, the gate, you know, at their apartments, I was calling them. So, but anyway, yeah, so I say go ahead and do it. You know, I really think it's worth it. And hey, let me know what you think. You got any other questions or any other thing you can think of? Maybe I didn't, you was thinking about, you know, drop it down in the comments. I'll respond. If it's something maybe I need to make another video on, definitely can. Yeah. If you haven't already, click the like button. Please subscribe, share, all the things. And I will see y'all again on another one. Holla at y'all.
She said take your time,